What's going on, guys? In a couple of recent videos, I showed you that it is very hard to beat the market. I certainly was not able to beat the market over the past 3 years. It was, as I'm calling it, a very humbling video. But I want to show you guys just how hard it is to beat the market and more along the lines of why it's so hard to beat the market. You will hear all of these finance gurus saying, oh, don't try to beat the market. Just throw your money into something like the S&P 500, a low-cost index fund, and you'll do better than 90% of investors. But why? At the end of the day, human nature is very competitive. We're also very cocky. We think we're better than the average person. But that's just not true. So in this video, I want to dig into exactly why it's so hard to beat the S&P 500 other than just saying, hey, take my word for it. We're going to be using FinViz today. I don't use FinViz that much, but it is such a, I feel like, an underappreciated tool. It has so many features in it that could really help you understand what you're looking at. No sponsorship, no affiliation from them. I just purely love using their tool, and I feel like I don't use it enough. But this is the S&P 500. As of today, while I'm recording this, we could take a look at its year-to-date performance, which is right here. Actually, I have it highlighted. That's why I couldn't find it. Year-to-date performance is 17.48%. So we're in July. We're a little bit more than halfway through the year. How many stocks have beaten 17.48%? That's what we're going to dig into today. And with probability, we're going to see why is it so hard to actually beat the market. So again, 17.48 is our goal. And we're going to jump back over to the map here. So this is a heat map. If you guys don't know what a heat map is, it pretty much shows you every single stock with their relative market cap size that's in the S&P 500. We could take a look at the full market or the world, or you could pick different exchanges, but we're just focusing on the S&P 500 today. And what's really cool is we're going to jump over to bubbles. So this gives you kind of a better idea of the size of each company. So something like this red one, that's Apple, which is the biggest bubble. And then something really small like this, Juniper Networks. You can see a very, very small bubble, and it's all the way down here at negative 6%. This is just the day change. So I want to look at the year-to-date change. So over here, we have all these nice little things that we can mess around with. And I just need to find... We go over to change, and here we go. We have year-to-date performance. So now you can see, obviously, NVIDIA is the winner for the year so far. It's all the way up here at 211%. In second place, you have Meta at 156. You got Tesla at 128. Let's see, and the loser is all the way down here. Very small stock. Advanced Auto Parts at negative 51%. So this shows us the year performance, but it's kind of hard. You have all these little bubbles and then big bubbles, so it really doesn't paint that good of a picture. So we are going to jump over to bubble size and do constant. Now all of them are the exact same size, and it's starting to paint the better picture. So why is it so hard to beat the market? Well, you may hear that it's because it's only a few winners is actually driving the market. And it's something like the top 7 stocks. So Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Tesla, Google. Those are like the 7 stocks that are pretty much controlling most of the market right now. And that's why we're at 17%. But I want to look more into that. How many of these stocks are dragging the market down? How many stocks are actually beating the market? Now, let's first, we could scroll at what percentage we want to see. So first, let's just look at how many stocks are in the negative for the year. So we're going to get this down to 0%, or as close as possible I can get to 0. Here are all the stocks in the S&P 500 that are currently losing money for the year. So you can see this one is down 5%. Etsy is down 22%. Chevron down 14. What do we got over here? Key Corp down 41. So you can see all of the losers. And then if we switch it, and we'll bring that to 0, here are all the winners. It's not as many. There's not as many winners as losers. But more importantly, how many are beating that 17.8%? So let's bring this all the way up to about 17.8%. This is not that many. Now, we're going to dig further in. Instead of me sitting here and counting all the bubbles, I'm actually going to jump over to the screener on FinViz. So index S&P 500, here's our 503 tickers. Remember, there's a couple of duplicates, like Google has 2 different tickers. So that's why it's not an even 500. And then what we're going to do is jump over to performance. We are going to go to right here, year-to-date performance. You can see here's all the stocks that are in the red. Let's flip it. We want to find how many stocks, so here's the top 20 stocks for the year. How many stocks are beating the market currently in the S&P 500? Let's jump to maybe number 4, 5. Let's keep going. How about number 7? Okay, we're getting close. On page 8, so right here, well, let's see, where are we at again? Okay, 17.48. So right here, this is where we draw the line in the sand. There are 144 stocks in the S&P 500 that are currently beating the market. That sounds like a decent number, and you may be cocky enough to think, oh, I could have easily picked one of those 144 stocks, but let's look at it probability-wise. If you take 144, divide that by the 503 tickers that make up the S&P 500, that's 28.62%. You have a 28, we'll call it 29, or you know what, we'll even round it up to 30% because that's easy. You have a 30% chance, right around a 30% chance of picking a stock that will beat the market. That means you have a 70% chance that you are going to pick a stock that will underperform the market. So you could see, even though the market's up 17%, 70% of all these positions are currently doing worse. That right there is why it's so hard to beat the market. It's not a 50-50, and that's what people confuse it with. They think, well, 50% of the stocks are probably doing better than the market, and then 50% of the stocks are doing worse. But it's not equal weight. If a stock goes up 200% and then 5 stocks go down 50%, that will weigh out to whatever it might be. And that's why it's so difficult to beat the market. It's because it's only a few amount of stocks that are beating it. And you may think, yeah, but there's these random stocks that I wouldn't invest in anyway. It's no surprise that Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla are the top 3. Anyone could have picked those stocks over some no name. Like, let's jump to what even is Advanced Auto Parts or Key Corp. I would have never invested in something like that. But there are plenty of big stocks that are underperforming the market right now that you may have invested in last year. And let me show you that. So if we just jump back to valuation and sort by market cap, and then we jump back to performance, you can see big companies like, here's ExxonMobil, which was like the winner of last year, is currently down 8% this year. United Healthcare Group is down 9%. JP Morgan, a lot of people said, you know what, I'm going to jump into JP Morgan because of the banking crisis. It's only up 11%. It's underperforming the market. Berkshire Hathaway, everyone thinks, well, Warren Buffett always beats the market. I'm just going to put my money into Berkshire Hathaway for the year and I should be fine. He's not even beating the market right now. He's only at 10%. The market's currently at 17% for the year. Procter & Gamble is another one that's in the negative for the year. MasterCard is not beating the market. So there are plenty of these big blue chip companies that people will tout about, saying this is all you need to do. Just put your money into ExxonMobil, you'll make money. Put all your money into JP Morgan. You're doing worse than what the S&P 500 is currently doing. And another thing I want to point out, you may think, okay, yeah, but Nvidia, everyone wants to invest in Nvidia. Who's to say this isn't the top? Sure, it could go up another 50, 60%. But if we rewind 2 years ago, right over here, everyone was piling into Nvidia, thinking that it's going to go to the moon. This was back in November of 2021. And then what happened? The entire year, you just lost money in Nvidia, and it crashed all the way down to $115. You were at $330. You lost more than 50% by investing in it. Is this an all-time high for Nvidia? Will it keep going higher, or will it now correct and crash another 50%? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you which way the market is going to go, and don't let anyone tell you, because in the short term, we do not know which way an individual stock or which way the market is going to go. But That's why it's so hard picking individual stocks and trying to beat the market. The odds are not in your favor, which you could see right here. Here's how many stocks that are currently beating the market. And then if we just flip it again, here's how many stocks are currently losing. And again, big names, Verizon, AT&T, Etsy, all these big names, Moderna, are currently underperforming the market. So I'm not saying just completely ditch individual stock picking, but I wanted to show you why it's so hard to beat the market. The odds are not in your favor, and maybe that could influence, it's not financial advice, this is for education, but maybe that could influence your decision when you're building up your portfolio and figuring out, okay, what do I want to invest in? It might be a smart idea to hold on to an ETF like the SPY or the VOO, or one of my personal favorites is the VTI, which is not just the S&P 500, it's the entire American stock market, which is made up of almost 4,000 individual stocks. And this paints a great picture. You could see there's only a few massive winners, and there's a bunch that are losers, but that's okay because these few winners is what's really going to bring that index up. Guys, I hope you like this video. I hope it gives you a little bit better understanding. If you've never been on FinViz, definitely check it out. Great tool. Again, not a sponsorship or anything. I just really like using the tool. And as always, I will see you in the next one.